Hey everybody, Meteorologist Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center. Welcome to another First Alert Weather Extra. We are heading into the second full weekend of July, and we have a couple of bumps in the road as we get into it. But before we talk about that, we want to let you know what we saw today. West Thompson Lake, just north of Putnam near Mechanicsville, in northeastern Connecticut, 2.8 inches of rain, 2.47 inches of rain from Hebron. Willimantic Windham Airport reporting a very similar amount with over 2.25 inches received. Windsor Locks, Bradley International, 1.64 inches. Eastford, 1.62 inches. Storrs, 1.34 inches. And Berlin coming in right at 1 inch. And we'll show you the radar estimated rainfall totals over the past 24 hours. So this really encapsulates the heaviest rain that we saw overnight last night. Those shades of orange popping up in northeastern Connecticut, Woodstock, Thompson to Putnam. 2 to 3 inches of rain fell in that part of the state. 1 to 2 inches as you head south and west closer to, say, Glastonbury and into Hebron. But certainly an impressive amount of rainfall in a pretty short period of time. So much so, actually, that there was actually a flash flood warning issued for the northeastern part of the state in the wee hours of the morning. Maybe not quite the wee hours of the morning, but it was very early this morning, just after the sun rose. Thankfully, we did not run into any other flooding issues thereafter. That 1.64 inches of rain at Bradley International brought us up to 3.36 inches for the month. So we have over a 2-inch surplus right now. And if we go back to the start of the year, over a 3-inch surplus. We are not tracking anything right now with Connecticut's only live radar. Pretty quiet across the state. And if we look to our north, there are still some thunderstorms out there. There's that one rogue severe storm that moved into southern Vermont that was severe warned and has now since fizzled out. A lot of the activity that we saw near the Finger Lakes of New York starting to fizzle out too as we lose our daytime heating. But offshore, we still have showers ongoing, and those are all flaring up along that stagnant stationary front, that boundary nearby, the focal point for those showers to continue. Behind that, we have a cold front that's moving say through western New York, now near Rochester, down past Erie, Pennsylvania, and into parts of Ohio. We are going to keep a close eye on the stationary boundary, that area of low pressure moving along. It will eventually allow for an increased risk for, or rather, I should say, we had an area of low pressure move along it, which allowed for the increased risk of showers last night. And moving forward, any shower activity looks to be fairly isolated. We'll show you that in just a second. Temperatures today topped out for many towns between 75 and 80 degrees. New Haven was the warm spot at 83, 82 in Meriden, 79 in Torrington and Windsor Locks, 77 in Willimantic, 77 in Groton. Temperatures right now 65 to 70 in eastern Connecticut. We'll say 70 to 75 elsewhere across the state. But dew points are still in the upper 60s and lower 70s. It's muggy, bordering on downright humid outside. We'll take you live right now to our iCam view in Hartford. We can still see some cloudiness overhead, and we're expecting to keep the clouds around through most of the night tonight. And it's going to be fairly warm out there tonight, upper 60s, lower 70s. On our iCam here in Waterbury overlooking the Green, we can see the cross lit up at Holy Land in the distance, 71 degrees. We'll take you live right now to Rocky Hill looking north to the Hartford skyline. And this and our Waterbury iCam both showing just basically how good the visibility is out there right now, which is great. We do expect maybe some patchy fog to develop, but it doesn't look particularly impactful. Our iCam view of Middletown showing a little bit of cloud cover there in the distance. We'll take you live now to New Haven overlooking the Green, 75 degrees, calm winds, and we'll finish off with a live look at our iCam here in New London. At one point, the ferry loading docks were a bit wet. The pavement has dried up pretty nicely. So temperatures keep dropping as the night goes on. We'll be down into the lower 70s statewide, likely within the next couple of hours here. And we're forecasting temperatures to end between 65 and 70 inland, lower 70s along the shoreline. Mostly cloudy skies, maybe just a little bit of patchy fog, nothing too impactful. And First Alert Futurecast shows mainly dry conditions through the day. But throughout the northwestern part of the state tomorrow, we'll see some isolated development mid to late afternoon into the early evening. And that will continue on until 8 or 9 tonight, and then start to wind down by 11. So we do expect maybe some isolated showers, or maybe even a couple of rogue thunderstorms. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center is highlighting areas north and west of the I-84 corridor under the level 1 risk for severe weather tomorrow. What we're thinking is that it's really that time frame between, say, 4 and 8 o'clock where we could see some isolated development. But if you want to see a planner for tomorrow for summer camp here, notice temperatures go back to between, say, 75 and 80 by lunchtime. And as we see a little bit more in the way of sunshine tomorrow, that'll push temperatures into the 80 to 85 degree range for many towns. We'll take you town by town to get you a better idea. 86 in Woodbury, 83 in Washington, 85 in Goshen, 84 in Winstead. We're forecasting 86 in Canton and Windsor tomorrow, 86 in New Britain and Glastonbury, 84 in Hebron, 84 in Stafford, 83 in Pomfret and Plainfield. Onshore winds southeastern Connecticut showing some upper 70s, especially along the shoreline there. But Jewett City, Griswold, 82, 83 in Salem, 84 in Colchester, 85 in Portland, 82 in Haddam tomorrow, 80 in Madison, 82 in Branford, 82 in Ansonia, and throughout Fairfield County, we will be between 80 and 85 degrees. And just a reminder, it will be a bit muggy out there, so that may make it feel just a little bit warmer at times. The fireworks in Torrington tomorrow are forecast to begin at dusk, and that is going to theoretically go off without any issue, but it is the northwestern part of the state where we'll be watching for some isolated showers or storms. But as it stands right now, it does look like things should dry up in time, so we're going optimistically dry for the fireworks display tomorrow. By Saturday, temperatures down just a little bit compared to tomorrow, by a couple of degrees here or there. Overall, a mainly dry day. Similar to tomorrow, we'll be watching some thunderstorms bubble up along the higher terrain of northwestern Connecticut into the Berkshires and across the Catskills of New York State. So this is what we really have to watch for on Saturday. Isolated showers or storms. In fact, many towns will stay dry, not only tomorrow, but into Saturday too. So while we are certainly giving you the first alert that there could be some isolated development, at this point in time, it does not appear to be particularly impactful. On the First Alert 7-day forecast, there's the isolated storm language for both Friday and Saturday. Sunday, we turn muggy. On Monday, we'll see that humidity ramp up, and it's going to be humid, really feeling tropical out there Monday. But that will also mean a bit more fuel for storms. And so maybe Monday is a more active day compared to the next several. 82 at the shoreline tomorrow, 81 on Saturday, 82 on Sunday, and then 81 on Monday. After we see the storms on Monday, we really crank the heat back up. As a matter of fact, we're going 86 at the shoreline Tuesday, 88 Wednesday, 87 Thursday. But how about those inland temperatures? So specifically for the Hartford area, we're forecasting 3 days at or above 90, which means that we will have our second heat wave of 2025. That's what we need. 3 days or more consecutively in a row at or above 90 degrees, and that's what we're forecasting here. Muggy on Tuesday, muggy on Wednesday, and then downright humid on Thursday. So with temps in the lower 90s, high humidity Thursday, it'll certainly feel a bit hotter, maybe a little more like the mid or even upper 90s. So your first alert to certainly a bit more in the way of heat. So far this month, we've had 3 days at or above 90 degrees, 10 so far this year, and it looks like we'll be adding to that tally next year. Today, with a high temperature officially of 79 for the Hartford area, the coolest day that we've seen so far this month. But again, we're expecting things to be near, if not above average, as we get into and through the weekend, and especially into the middle of next week. When it comes to rainfall, our rainfall has been somewhat spread out, but the days where it's rained, it has poured. We had the 3rd where we picked up over 3/4 of an inch of rain, 1.64 inches of rain last night. And we've been in this pattern where it's Tuesdays and Thursdays where things have been a bit unsettled. We might break that a little bit with greater risk of storms arriving on Monday, the 14th. Here's the 6 to 10 day outlook for temperatures. And average temperatures this time of year are fairly notable. And the reason for that is because it is this upcoming week, or rather, I should say really in 3 days, this upcoming weekend, where our average high temperature climbs to 86 degrees. So the average high for the Hartford area peaks at 86. That's July 13th through the 24th. That is the warmest average high. And as it stands right now in the 6 to 10 day outlook, which gets us from the 16th to the 20th, looks like things could be at or above average. So while we see 90 degree days away from the shoreline in the forecast for next week, perhaps that'll be something that's even a little bit more common beyond. And we, of course, will be the first to alert you if we see greater chances for more impressive or even record heat. But that's not something that we see right now. It just looks like things will be back in the 90s next week, bringing about our second heat wave of 2025. We'll have much more in the First Alert forecast on Eyewitness News at 10 over on the Wax, and again on Channel 3 tonight at 11. And you can join Scott Gagliardi tomorrow morning as he brings you the latest, especially on that